Hey there, welcome back to the Daily. This is Adriana coming back to you for another practice together as we continue to explore our topic of the month, which is trust, faith, confidence. And today is the very first part in a two-parter because as I've been going down this rabbit hole of exploring trust with you here at the Daily, also in my own practice, I found this really wonderful resource that maybe helps to kind of demystify or name what it is that we're talking about when we talk about trust, both trust in ourselves, trust in others, trust in our meditation practice. And this wonderful resource was laid out by Brene Brown, who is the beloved shame researcher, author, and she, in one of her talks, was asking a similar question of, what is trust? When we talk about trust, when we say something like, I either trust you or I don't trust you, what are we actually talking about? Like, what are the elements that help to either build or disassemble our trust? And she came up with an easy to remember acronym, which is BRAVING. And BRAVING stands for boundaries, both setting boundaries for ourselves, some parameters of what we allow, what it is that we don't allow, and also respecting the boundaries of others. Reliability, aka we show up for the things that we sign up for, we keep our word. Accountability, meaning that if we do make a mistake, we take ownership of it and attempt to make amends. The vault, the V is for vault, meaning that we don't share information that isn't ours to share. We keep confidential things confidential. I, which is integrity, we not only profess our values, but we also practice our values. We kind of like put our actions and our money where our mouth is. The N stands for non-judgment. And the G stands for generosity. And these are the two that I want to focus on over the next few days in our meditation practice. Non-judgment and generosity, two of these components that help to build and maintain trust. So the first one I want to focus on today is non-judgment, and this is one of the core faculties that we are calling up in our meditation practice, is the practice of non-judgment. In fact, if you have been spending any time with me at all in the past couple of years, you probably know that one of my absolute kind of favorite definitions of mindfulness was laid out by Jon Kabat-Zinn, who is the founder of mindfulness-based stress reduction. And he says that mindfulness is the awareness that arises when we're paying attention on purpose in the present moment and without judgment. That our mindfulness practice, what distinguishes our mindfulness practice from just regular old everyday paying attention, is that we're doing it with a certain amount of non-judgment. Or if you are like me, maybe just noticing how our natural tendency, our natural inclination is to judge our experience, and seeing if we can relax that mechanism a little bit in our practice, so that, of course, off of the cushion, we're bringing that same mentality of acceptance, accommodation, non-judgment into every situation that we encounter. So we're going to do that. We're going to move into our practice here, into the practice of non-judgment. And of course, the only kind of ask that I have here in our practice is that whatever it is that shows up, whatever it is that we happen to encounter on the cushion today, thoughts, sounds, emotions, feelings, etc., to see if we can meet our experience with some modicum of accommodation, acceptance, and non-judgment. So wherever we happen to be, it's taking a moment to decide on our seat. And once we have found our seat, it's grabbing our last sip of tea, giving our bodies a quick once over, making sure that yes, indeed, this is where we want to be. And then taking a moment to locate our gaze. So eyes open or eyes closed, your call. And we'll take just a few moments here to open our practice by opening our senses. And so shifting our attention over to sound. Just receiving the sound of the space that we're in. Taking in the tonal quality. Welcoming any noises that are present. Not as an obstacle to practice, but just another element that tethers us here, reminds us where we are, what we're doing. And staying open to sound, shifting the attention to touch. So taking a moment just to feel into our body, the shape that the body makes, that light pressure where the body makes contact. Taking in the texture of clothing on our skin, temperature of the air in the room, dropping into the feet. Just feeling the feet here. Texture of our socks, temperature of the air. Just bringing a bit of interest to the details. Tracing the attention across the shin bones. Circling the kneecaps. Grazing through the thighs. Landing in the hips. Moving our attention to the belly and the chest. Taking just a moment here in the belly, the chest, barrel of the front body. So establishing contact with the body, breathing. Tip of the nose, back of the throat, belly. And then wherever, however, the breath is most available in the body, most easily felt. It's dropping our anchor of attention here. Home base, the place that we return to. And we'll continue into practice. It's using that singular instruction that as our minds wander, which they naturally will, just noticing when we've left our breathing, acknowledging what captures our attention, and then gently, firmly coming back to the breath in the body. So as we settle into practice here, perhaps finding our attention drifting, maybe entirely consumed by thought. If that's the case, of course, no big deal. Non-judgment also applies to ourselves. Just acknowledging where we've landed. Light touch of recognition and feeling the body breathe. It's this continual release and return, coming back to the body, back to the breath, back to the moment at hand, and resting here. So in the spirit of non-judgment, one of these techniques that can be useful here is just the idea of noting whatever it is that's honestly arising in our practice, in our awareness. No need to avoid or indulge, rather just naming what arises, dropping the narrative around it. This might look something like thinking, sound, physical sensation, impulse, emotion. Again, whatever's sincerely there for us, just naming it for what it is. Light touch of recognition and feeling the body breathe. So it might even be, again, in this spirit of non-judgment, that we're able to locate an implicit attitude of curiosity in our practice. Of course, curiosity being an antidote for judgment. And staying open to this sense of, what is this like? What is this like? It's being here in this body with the breath at this moment. And again, staying somewhat inclusive of all that arises without needing to participate in it. Noticing, acknowledging, and feeling the body breathe. So a large part of our practice here on the cushion is just encouraging ourselves to meet the reality of our present moment experience without needing to assign some sort of value judgment to it. Is it possible to stay open, curious, accommodating to what this is, whatever this is, today? Again, without indulging or avoiding, staying open. Maybe, maybe not. It's all an exploration. And then in our final few moments of practice together, perhaps just using this opportunity to reconnect to what it is that brought you here. Why yes? Why practice? Why today? Closing out with a little bit of sweetness, maybe a hand on the heart, just giving ourselves a little bit of credit for making the time, using this space, taking care of ourselves in this way. And then as you're ready, just allowing formal practice to drop and coming back in together at your own pace, no rush. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.